All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, I'm in a pretty goddamn good mood today. And the reason for that is kind of simple. It turns out, well, I was right. It turns out that waiting to see what the final details of an event is probably the best thing to do when it comes to something like an anniversary. Because when Kuro's going ahead and, they're announcing things like all of the events that are coming in a patch, like they did for the 2.3 anniversary over here, when they're going ahead and they're announcing all of these great rewards, all of these exciting things to look forward to, and, when some of the events like Cube, Cubic, and QB aren't actually indicating how much Astrite, how many tuners, tubes, echo experience, blah, 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 all of that, it doesn't indicate how much it's going to reward. Well, maybe it's best if we take some time to wait. If we take some time to actually wait and see what those final rewards are before saying that the rewards are trash. Because it turns out for that event, Cube, QB, and Cubic, I probably said that wrong, in the wrong order, they're giving out 1,000 fucking Astrite. 1,000 Astrite from an event. That is some of the most Astrite that we've ever gotten in an event before. Oh, and it's also a permanent one. And so, you guys all might recall a video before, right? A very popular video by Tectone talking about, obviously, it's a joke that we uninstalled Wuthering Waves, but there was a point that I made over here that I just want to reiterate for the future. There's a point over here that I want to reiterate so that we remember this the next time we don't see a number next to something and automatically assume it's trash that you might not even fucking need at all. Sure, they'll rotate the shop later, right? And there might be good stuff in there. But it's like, you can view it from the perspective of there's actually quite a bit of fucking pulls coming in if that 35 number is true. And that's why I think waiting to see how much these events actually give is pretty important, right? To make a final judgment. Because
wait.
We can't sure that 10 that we just saw kind of came out of nowhere, right? Yeah. Like that 10 was not in the live stream. And I guess reading the patch notes, we found out there was 10 more. And then we don't know how much the Astrite rewards are for the events. And so who knows? It might be like fucking 40 overall if you like do everything.
Okay, wait.
It's actually more than 40.
First of all, I don't think it's fair for us to speak in theoreticals, because if they were truly so good, I don't know why they wouldn't just announce them. Why would you?
What a dummy. Oh, because maybe the rewards were like really, really actually good, and they wanted to drip tease the rewards because they're good, and it's the anniversary, and they want to, I don't know, have exciting news to drop every single day before the update. Oh, maybe that's what they wanted to do.
Let's pretend there's 100 hidden pulls. They're not just going to be like...
We're not speaking in theoreticals. So, as you can clearly see over here, there's a lot of CCs in the space that just wanted to ride the hate wave of the anniversary. They just want to contradict sometimes. They just want to rain on the parade. We saw Maggie do it by saying that Kuro sabotaged her career after the bad news of the anniversary. And now we see Jenna over here, right? Using the clout or trying to farm clout from the anniversary not being received well to farm some views, right? To farm some haters. I think it worked out in the short term, but I think now we can kind of see what kind of clown behavior this was in the long run. And so do keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, it's probably better to wait. And it's probably just like a lot of haters who just genuinely are trying to sow negativity for the game. And there was a lot of that across the anniversary. So just wanted to get that out of the way, first and foremost, before we start getting into some more of the details about the event. So with that, they're also going to have a sigil, premium tuners, forgery premium supplies, the skill mats, a modifier for the main stat, and of course, shell credits and other mats. These aren't the full details. Over here, let's get into some more because they've got the whole goddamn event preview ready to go. So let's get into some of the specifics over here. This event offers 2 types of rewards, limited time and standard. And so if you've been playing like the 1.4 event, basically the one that has the Somme Noir situation going on, or the fishing event, to be honest, because that's the most recent one, you'll be able to, have the limited time ones, which typically give a lot more, and then the standard ones, which will be in the background. And so when that initial period ends, it will continue as a permanent event. The limited time rewards will no longer be available when the event becomes permanent. So that's basically how all of those other events have worked out in the long run. Let's just keep going over here. Second coming of Solaris' event is approaching, but trouble has struck the cube world, and we all know about a Bowser. We've all seen the trailer over there. And so this event is actually going to last until June. So ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have around 1.5 months to do this entire permanent event, which is, I'm not gonna lie, if you don't get the limited time reward by June 11th, you might have just quit the game at this point. That's a pretty long ass time. That's a pretty long ass time, if we're being honest. Yeah, you gotta reach Union level 22, which is done pretty fast. And again, you're gonna have the main stat modifier, the 1000 Astrite, the Forgery Premium Supply, and the Premium Enclosure Tank. And so the thing is, a lot of people thought that this event was gonna be way less than 1000 Astrite. A lot of people actually thought it was only gonna be like 400, 500, or 600. And you wanna know why? Because of leaks. It said in leaks. Somebody did like a whole pull breakdown showing the amount across the patch. And in leaks, it only showed 600. So let's keep moving on over here. Let's see what else we do have in the event. On the second coming of Solaris, Rover enters the game world to assist Encore. We know all about that. And with help from the Cube Companions, a Bowser is going to go over here and then try to take control and, I guess, kidnap the cubes. I think they're calling them a Bowser for a reason. Obviously, it is a reference to Super Mario. We're gonna go ahead, go to the castle, and then rescue the cubes. I hope Kuro doesn't get like copyright claimed for this. I hope Kuro does not get like copyright claimed for this one, because this is literally just Super Mario. Let's keep going. I wonder who the princess is gonna be. Honestly, there's a lot of princesses. We got the Shorekeeper, we got the Jinxie, we got a lot of them. We got the Chang. Yeah, we see 3 princess cubes over here. So with that, you're gonna be able to equip 3 resonators, all with a different type of cube to support them in combat. And then basically the cube is gonna come in and then replace your main echo skill. This is a pretty familiar thing that we have across all of the events. That's why I think echo skills and their implementation in the game have been like so amazing, because a lot of people, they don't trip too much when they lose the echo skill in their kit. Like, okay, who cares if I don't get to cast my Hecate Spinning Blades or my Carlotta Sentry Construct? Having that cube able to come in is like perfect. It's awesome. And we see it in basically like every single event. All right, so we got the whole echo situation down. It's going to provide a lot of variance, a lot of variety in the different kits that you're going to be able to use. And I'm sure because of that, a shit ton of replayability. We see it in the co-op event. We see it in a lot of events for the game. And so the cubes, they're going to look goofy as hell. Oh my god. They fight alongside the resonator, and I assume you can just transform into them at any point and then, you know, use the moves. Oh my god, that just looks silly. That just looks silly. So, the Bowser Castle is going to have a lot of levels. You're going to be able to clear them to obtain special cube cookies and then the first anniversary commemorative coins. And I am of the opinion that those commemorative coins are probably going to be used to get some of those rewards, and there's probably going to be a shop for them. You're also going to have the ability to do co-op as well, because I'm seeing solo challenge over here. And the only reason why they would have something called solo challenge is if, well, they've got multiplayer as well. Otherwise, it would just say challenge. And when enough levels are cleared, you get those queues freed. And you're going to be able to unlock and use a wider roster. You're going to be able to use those cookies to level up the cubes and then enhance their combat abilities. And then leveling up those cubes is going to unlock more of their module slots, which, as we saw from the live stream, is going to allow you to add special abilities to the cubes. And we saw that clip, right, of a Jinxie module being added to a Camellia cube. And then the Camellia cube started spinning with the vines. And then a Jinxie laser was, like, shooting with the spinning Camellia. And so I'm sure there's a lot of like goofy combinations that you'll be able to do to, you know, add even more replayability to the event. And because it's permanent, right, you'll be able to play even more and more with that stuff later. Data modules are going to come in 3 categories. Standard will just give them, I think, some stats. Ability modules give the cube the ability of another cube, just like that Camellia and Jinxie example I was talking about. And then the Awakening modules completely change the cube's ability. Even more replayability. Clearing the levels of a Bowser's Castle wins you those data modules, and you can also purchase them in a Bowser's shop with the first anniversary commemorative coins. Sounds good. Now they're going to have In the Depths. So yeah, you're just going to level up your cubes and then venture into the depths. You can clearly see they're using Zani over here. The cubes are on the battlefield. I don't think they take damage, because it would be terrible if your cubes could die. It would be absolutely terrible if that could happen. And from what I'm seeing over here, there is a Cartithia cube that's doing some attacks. And so this might be Kuro actually pre-leaking Cartithia's kit. Because as far as I'm concerned, every single cube in here has like an ability that's part of the unit's kit. And so I'm imagining that whatever Cartithia does, that's going to be in her baseline. That's going to be in her actual kit when she launches, you know, in the future. Otherwise, why the fuck would she be playable over here when everybody else is? This basically confirms that she is playable and that she is going to have this element in her kit. So, leakers. Next up, breed cubes will just hang around in the cube world, and you can join them there whenever you decide to take a break from combat. So parasocials, your time is now. Your time is now, and I guess you move around by rolling. So make sure to have as much fun as possible with this one. Overall, I gotta say, yeah, this event is looking great. I love that this event is permanent. You know, the cubes are obviously very cute. I know there are a couple people that don't necessarily like the vibes of this one, but I'm gonna be real. When you have the framing that this is quite literally a video game within a game, I think it's perfectly fine. You know, I think it's perfectly fine for us to have an event that's like as fleshed out as this, that's as, you know, as silly as this, especially during a time of celebration. I don't see a lot of people necessarily complaining about things like ZZZ's minigames, which are obviously like super goofy. And while you might think that like Wuthering Waves as a whole is like a darker vibe during a time of celebration, I don't think it's too crazy to have an event that's clearly geared to be a lot more fun. And they have a lore reason. They have a literal lore reason. Encore designed this, right? Encore designed this. It's a simulated world. Why not just have a little bit of fun with this? We obviously know that the world of Wuthering Waves is high tech. Just look at Zhang Liao. He has a fucking robot arm that shoots lasers. Zhang Liao has a robot arm that shoots lasers. I'm pretty sure it's not outside of the realm of possibility for us to have a fun, goofy game because a kid made it. So yeah, that'll be my overview of it. Do remember in the future, ladies and gentlemen, please don't panic. Please don't rile up as a community to like freak out about rewards when you don't have a full overview of what the final actual numbers are. Because it turns out it can actually be really goddamn good. So with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.